Hi, welcome to Nama Yoga. My name is Noor, and this is a full-length, inclusive, gentle yoga session. So this is a seated class, which was intended specially for seniors and for people with mobility restrictions in mind. But anyone who's looking for a gentle stretch can follow along. You can even do this seated upright in a bed. So I am so excited that you're here. Let's grab a seat and let's get started. So for this class, all you need is a sturdy chair, preferably without arms. And when you're seated towards the front of the chair, you want your feet to be firmly on the ground. If that's not happening for you right now, feel free to pause the video and grab a cushion. You can slide it under your feet and bring the floor up to you. We just want to make sure that we have a nice and solid base to practice from. So when you feel all set up, come sitting to the front of the chair. Your feet are going to be facing forward, so your toes are facing me. And just have a quick look to make sure that your knees are about hip width apart and your ankles are lining up directly under your knees. So we want good alignment for the entire session. And then take a moment to feel through your hips. The weight should be distributed evenly between your hip bones, so there's no flopping to either side. We want a solid foundation. And from here, you're just going to sit upright, allow the chair to support you, and then start to float your eyes closed. From here, start to become aware of your breath. Start to zoom in on your inhalations and your exhalations. We're going to move into seated mountain pose, which is wonderful for bringing your attention back into your body. So with your eyes closed, start to bring your focus to the soles of your feet. You might want to start to gently lift your ankles away from the floor and bring the weight into the balls of your feet. And then gently set the ankles back down and lift the toes this time, bringing the balls of your feet up, away from the ground and setting them back down. Now shift your weight to the outer blade of your foot. So the outer edge of your foot is going to take all your weight and then slowly come back to center. Move that weight into the arches of your feet. Great. Set your feet back down, feeling that connection to the earth. Start to move your awareness up into your ankles. From your ankles, can you start to bring your awareness up into your shins, into your calf muscles? Start to notice if there's any sensation in these areas. We often have a sense of heaviness, tingling. There might be an awareness of temperature running through your legs. Just try and be aware of the sensations without judging them. And then bringing your attention into your knees. So the knees can be a slightly sensitive area for some people. If they've been giving you any grief, if they've been complaining at all over the past few days, try not to judge the sensations. Let that go. Accept whatever is happening in your body at this time. And then can you start to bring your attention into your thighs? You might become aware of the palms of your hands resting on the fronts of your thighs. It might feel slightly warm in that area. Maybe the backs of your thighs are talking to you. Maybe you can feel them connecting with the back of the chair. Maybe you can feel them connecting with the seat of the chair. And then traveling that line up into your sitting bones and your buttocks. That's where you're really going to feel a connection with the seat of the chair. And just allow yourself to be fully supported by the earth, by the seat beneath you. And from this solid foundation, you might become aware of your sacrum and your lower back being so supported. And from your lower back, you might start to feel that your vertebrae are able to stack neatly one on top of the other. So your awareness is moving up the straight line of your spine from your lower back into your mid back and finally into your upper back. From here, you might be able to feel any tension, any soreness in your shoulders and the back of your neck. Just allow yourself to release any tightness in that area. Just allow your shoulders to melt away down your back. And to help your spine reach straight, start to bring your awareness into your belly. Notice any sensations that you might be feeling in your stomach. And then start to bring a gentle tone into your stomach. So start to gently contract your belly button towards your spine. Doing this will allow you to be able to sit up straight. From here, your awareness moves into your solar plexus, up through the front of your body into your chest. And as your shoulder blades move towards each other on the back of your body, you'll become aware of your heart spreading open. Your chest is expanding ever so slightly. And then moving that awareness up into your throat. Just relax your throat muscles. Relax your jaw. Allow the tongue in your mouth to move from the roof of your mouth towards the bottom. Your cheek muscles relax. Your forehead relaxes. All the muscles across your skull start to melt. And to achieve that integrity in your spine, let's put the last piece together. The crown of your head is going to extend towards the sky. So you can imagine that there is an invisible thread that's attached from the very top of your head up towards the sky. And imagine that somebody's just tugging gently at that string to encourage you to really sit up straight from your sacrum, resting on the seat, all the way up through the crown of your head. Feel how supported you are, feeling how accepting you are of your body in this present moment. Beautiful. Let's start to float our eyes open. And from here, we're going to start to bring a little bit of movement into our body. So can you take your fingertips to your shoulders and, if possible, lift your elbows to about shoulder height. If they can't reach that high, no problem. This is fine. We're going to start to trace invisible circles with our elbows. So bringing a little bit of movement into those shoulders, into those upper arms. You can start small in one direction and then start to go bigger if that's available to you, if that feels good. I know that when I start to take these really big movements, that's when I feel the crunch in my shoulders. I feel where I've been slouching. One more movement in this direction and pausing at the top. Let's start to reverse the direction. You can start to take those grand circles once again, tracing with your elbow. There's no rush here. Just explore that ball and socket joint. And then moving the circles slightly smaller. And then relax, release it down. So from here, we're going to bring some rotation into our neck. So sitting upright, take a moment to allow the shoulders to relax down your back. And then we're going to start to inhale and tip our nose up to the sky. From here, we're going to tip to the right side and imagine that you're tracing a line with your nose. Well, more than a line, it's a circle. And as you reach the top, take an inhale. And as you exhale, move towards that right side and just take a really luxurious stretch, 360 degrees until you reach the top again. Moving in this direction one more time. Just follow your breath. Make sure that there's no tension in your upper back. Lovely. When you reach the top, pause here and then take it to the other side. So tipping left. Just follow your nose. And make sure that you're just taking a really luxurious stretch. Lovely. Let's pause here and bring your head back to center. Let's get a really lovely stretch down the sides of the neck. So for this, you're going to grow tall, sitting up straight, and then start to tip your right ear towards your right shoulder. So my friend who's a yoga teacher likens this motion to cradling a phone in between your ear and your shoulder. You're not exactly going to do that. You're going to allow your right shoulder to really move down your back, and you're going to allow your right ear, to almost go parallel to your shoulder. Don't overexert that stretch. Don't force yourself into any unnatural position. Just allow your shoulder to move away from your ear and your ear to kind of chase your shoulder. That should start a really nice stretch down that left side. And if you want to take this a step further, you can reach that left arm out to the side and really press your palm down towards the floor. That really exacerbates the stretch. I can feel it a lot. Feels good. Taking an inhale here, really filling that side up with breath. Exhale and come back to center. Let's move it to the other side. So sitting tall, start to tip that ear towards the left shoulder and moving that left shoulder down the back as you do. So just breathing into this right side, feel that extension. If you'd like to take it a bit further, you can reach that right palm out and sort of really press it towards the floor. You should feel a really good stretch all the way through that right arm, all the way up this muscle. Relax, come back to center. Slightly different variation of that stretch. You're going to get the back muscle going. So let's sit up tall and then tilt your nose about 45 degrees to the left, and then tip your nose down about 45 degrees. So as gross as it sounds, it's almost as if you're trying to sniff your armpit. I know it sounds weird, but it's a really, really interesting stretch through a muscle that we don't get to stretch very often. down the back side. And then if you really want to take the stretch to another level, take that right hand and reach it back behind you. So you're reaching your fingertips towards the back of the room as you tilt your nose down. Breathing into that back body. And then exhaling, coming back into center. Moving it to the other side. So you're going to look 45 degrees to the right. Tip your nose 45 degrees down towards your underarm. And this might be enough for you. Just stay here breathing, relaxing your shoulders down. If you'd like to take this a step further, really going for it, reach that left arm back in space. Reach, 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 reach those fingertips as you breathe into that left-hand side. One deep, lovely inhale here, and exhale coming back to center. Lovely, just coming back into that graceful seated posture. Taking a moment to reconnect with that center line. We're going to start to bring some motion into our side body now. So let's start with our right side. You're going to grip the edge of the chair with your right hand. You're going to inhale your left arm up to the sky. So inhale and really reach up so that you're getting a lot of length through the side body. And then on the exhale, start to tip that hand and your head towards the right side. Breathe into that side body. Really get a lot of length over here. And try to bring some tone into your stomach muscles. You're doing this because there is a tendency to give into gravity and just sort of tip forward. You're going to resist that and stay really upright so that you get a good stretch through your hip and your side body. Breathing here. And then releasing, coming back up, letting that hand come down. Let's take it to the other side. So gripping the left side of the chair now, you're going to inhale that right hand up, reach, reach, reach towards the sky, and then tip over to the left side. Just really feel that stretch all the way from your right hip all the way to your right fingertips. Remember to keep that belly toned. And if possible, imagine that your belly button is almost reaching towards the sky, just to make sure that you're not tipping down. Keeping your eyes closed if you wish. Taking one last long stretch to that left side. And then coming up, releasing it down. Great. Just start to shake it out a little bit. So from here, we're going to move into cat and cow, which are two of my favorite poses. And I'm going to switch this way to give you a side view. You can stay where you are. So making sure that your ankles are below your knees. Come to bring your hands onto your thighs, sitting up straight. So I'll demonstrate this once. On an inhale, we're going to extend our chest forward and really arch our back so that our shoulder blades are meeting each other on our backs. And then on the exhale, you're going to move in the opposite direction. So maybe your hands slide down your thigh as you move your mid-back back in space and tuck your chin into your chest. So let's try that together. Inhaling, rising up, really pushing that chest forward as our shoulder blades meet. And then exhale, release it back. Your mid-back rounds, your chin tucks, your tailbone tucks under. And then just moving to the rhythm of your own breath. You can make sure that your inhales and your exhales are audible. That really helps with the relaxation. And as you come forward, just make sure that you're not throwing your neck back. So you're keeping a bit of tone in the back of your neck. Your chin isn't going quite so high towards the ceiling maybe. And then staying here for one more cycle of breath. Feeling that beautiful stretch through the spine. And then coming back to center. So taking a moment to find your center. We're going to start to go into some spinal twists. Please only do this if you have no issues with your lower back and your upper back. So if it's available to you, you can cross any foot over any leg. It doesn't really matter which side. We're going to do both sides. So I've crossed my right leg over my left. So I'm going to inhale and bring that opposite hand to the sky, bringing that left hand over. And then on the exhale, just cross it over to grab the outer edge of your thigh. And then sitting tall, inhaling. As you exhale, start to twist towards the back. Now, twist from your belly. The inclination is always to twist from the upper spine. We'll get there. For this inhale, just make sure that your belly is moving towards the back of the room. Take an inhale, grow long. On the exhale, start to move from your mid-back. Inhale, grow long. Exhale. Now start to twist your upper back. Maybe looking over that shoulder, if it's available for you. If there's any tension in the neck, you can just keep looking forward. Staying here, growing long for one more breath, really feeling that twist. And then rotating back to center. Let's uncross our legs and move it to the other side. So whichever leg was crossed over, do the opposite. And then gripping the side of the chair, grow long with that opposite hand. Exhale, bring it to the outer edge of that thigh. Sitting tall, inhale. Exhale from the belly. Feel as if you're moving the belly button towards the back of the room. Growing tall here, inhaling. Exhale through the mid-back, twisting a little bit further if it's available for you. Inhaling, reaching the crown of your head towards the sky. Exhale, rotate back from the upper back. Maybe you get to look over that shoulder. Not compulsory. And then releasing it, coming back to center and uncross those legs. So from here, take a moment to recenter yourself. Sometimes in twists, we tend to distribute our weight unevenly. So just make sure that both sitting bones have an equal amount of weight. Your hips are facing forward and your ankles are below your knees. Let's move into sun salutations. So from here, you're going to take an inhale, raising your arms to the sky and really reaching your fingertips up, spreading them wide. Then exhale, bring them back down. Let's move into a back bend. So bending from your elbows, bring your hands to the sides of your shoulders and a little bit wider than your shoulders. Spread your fingertips wide. From here, you're going to take an inhale and reach that chest forward. So your shoulder blades are moving towards each other on your back. And exhale, release your hands down onto your thighs. From here, you're going to start to tip forward, keeping a long line through your back all the way to the crown of your head. Now, this might be enough for most of us. If you'd prefer, you can start to heel toe your feet a little bit wider and start to play with going forward a little bit. So this shouldn't be attempted if you have any blood pressure issues or any hip issues. But if it's safe for you, you can start to reach your hands towards the earth. And if it's available, you can even consider reaching the crown of your head forward towards the ground. Taking one inhale here and an exhale. And then gently bring your hands back to your thighs and using your arm power tip yourself back up straight. Take a moment because sometimes there can be a bit of a head rush. We're going to do that one more time. So heel toeing your feet back together. You're going to inhale, rise up, really reaching the crown of your head up, lengthening through the spine, and then exhaling it down. Bending at the elbows, your fingertips are spread wide. You're going to inhale and reach your chest forward, moving your shoulder blades back towards one another into that baby cobra pose. And exhale, release your hands down onto your thighs. Taking an inhale. Exhale, start to hinge from the hips. So you're just tipping forward in a straight line, playing with that extension in the spine. And if it's available to you, heel toe your feet apart a little bit. Maybe start to reach your hands down into that forward fold. You can keep your back straight at this point. If it's not an issue, gently start to release forward. Staying here for an inhale and an exhale. Bringing your hands up to your thighs, using the power of your hands to tip you back up to straight, and heel toe your feet together. So from here, we're going to bring a little bit of relaxation into the jaw and a little bit of action into our facial muscles. This pose makes you look a bit crazy, but it feels so good. It's called lion's pose. And I am going to shift to the side of the chair to give you a side view. But basically, you're going to sit up tall. You're going to bring your hands on either side of your shoulders, and you're going to bend your fingers a bit to make actual claws like a lion. What happens in this pose is you take an inhale, and then as you exhale, you stick your tongue out as far out as you can, and you widen your eyes. So you're kind of roaring like a lion. So lovely for the release of your facial muscles. Let's try that together. So sitting up tall, making those claws with our hands. Inhale. Exhale, lion's breath. Inhaling tall. Exhaling that tongue out. One more time. Inhale, sitting tall. Roar it forward. Lovely. Looks a little bit crazy, but feels really good. From here, let's bring a little bit of mobility into our upper back. So taking a moment to readjust yourself, coming to the front of your chair if you're not there already. And then start to bring your palms together into prayer position in front of your chest. Your palms are really pressing into each other. So you're using a lot of force to connect them, and you can actually feel your biceps engaging as you do this. So as you inhale, you're going to start to push into your palms and push them up above your head. As you exhale, start to tip back slightly. You can look up towards your palms and turn this into a slight back bend. And then inhale, come back to straight. And then exhale, really push into those palms as you bring them back down in front of your chest. This is called a Namaste salutation. So let's do this again. Push those palms into one another. Inhale it up, reaching up above your head. Maybe you look up with your eyes. And then exhale into a gentle back bend. No pressure here. Inhale up to center. Pushing, 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 pushing your palms into one another. Lower them down on that exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, really engaging your arm muscles. Inhaling up above your head. Exhale into that back bend. Keep the chin slightly tucked so that you're not overextending. Inhale back up to straight. Push, 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 push the heels of your hands into one another as you come back to center. Well done. And from here, we're going to release the palms down. Maybe you want to take a little circle with your wrists in either direction. And then let's move into a really loving posture, which is going to stretch the front of our body and the back of our body. So on an inhale, you're going to widen your arms as wide as possible. So it's like you're going in for a hug. You're going to hug the world. And then on the exhale, you're going to start to round your back like you did in cat and cow pose, and your fingertips are going to meet. So inhale, get ready for that hug. Really reach your arms out behind you if you can. Your arms, your hands are moving back in space. And then on the exhale, round your back until your fingertips touch. Tuck your chin into your chest. Belly button moves into your spine. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling. Moving those arms back, spreading your chest as wide as you can, and then really go in for that hug. Imagine that somebody you love is standing in front of you, and you're just embracing them so tight. And then open your arms, come back to center. So continuing with that hugging theme, let's really give ourselves a bit of comfort and also get a really nice stretch across the back of our body. You are simply going to reach your hands across one another, so your elbows actually stack, and you're going to reach your fingertips as far back as you can across your back. So they might start out here, they might even start out here. Either is fine. Everyone's body is different. But if you can, once you get your fingertips behind you, see if you can take them a little bit further by walking them towards each other. So anywhere you can get to is fine today. Just close your eyes, maybe rock yourself back and forth. In the last pose, you were hugging the world. Now keep this as a hug for yourself. You might silently say, I love you, or say it out loud. And really feel the shoulder blades moving away from one another as you do this. This is a really nice and really needed stretch across the back body. Inhaling deeply into that area. Exhaling, gently unwinding. You can start to just shake it out a little bit. It gets a little bit crunchy sometimes when we go into these positions that we're not used to. So coming back to center, let's bring a little bit of stretch into our biceps. So bringing your right arm across your chest. You can grip it or hook it up into your left arm like this, and then just start to pull both your arms towards you. So you should feel a really nice stretch to the back of that shoulder. And from here, you can unclench your fists and start to just circle your wrists one way and then move it gracefully like a dancer in the opposite direction. Just keeping that pressure on, hugging it towards your chest. Hugging seems to be a theme in this class. We're affectionate people. And then release it down, unwrap your arms, spread wide for a second, and then let's move in the opposite direction. So bringing that left arm across your body, you can hook it into that right, spreading the fingertips wide as you pull towards your body, and then like a flamenco dancer, maybe follow your fingers, have fun with the stretch. La la la. And then move it in the opposite direction. Keeping the pressure on, finding that stretch as you rotate your wrists. And releasing, spreading wide, and coming back to center. Great. From here, I'm going to move to the side to give you a side view. Stay where you are. We're going to give ourselves a really lovely forearm and finger stretch. So you're going to extend your right arm in front of you. Now, if you have crazy hyperextension like I do. I'm very double jointed. I don't know about you, but I need to keep a really soft bend in that elbow to avoid hyperextension in the joints. So please do that. There's a micro bend as you reach your right arm in front of you. And remember to relax that shoulder down. There's no tension in the shoulder or the neck. Now, start to bend at the wrist so that your fingers are moving back towards your body. If this feels like enough, stay here. If you'd like to extend the stretch a bit further, you can take your left hand and start to hook your fingers into one another so that your fingertips of your right hand are moving back towards you a little bit more. That feels like a really intense stretch for me. I don't know about you, but it's such a nice release across the arm, across the palms of the hands, and of course across the fingers. And you can start to sort of dance with your fingers. Like you can press the pads of your fingers into each other to encourage them to move back slightly more. And then releasing here, don't forget your thumb. Hook that into another finger, move it back towards you. The thumb does so much work and it's so neglected. Great, and releasing that. Let's move it to the other side. Extend that left arm. And again, if you're prone to hyperextension, just keep a slight bend in that elbow. And then extend the fingers back towards your body. Maybe hooking them into the fingers of your right hand. And just applying pressure alternately through the pads of the fingers, bringing them back towards you. Whoop, I lost one. Oh, that stretch feels so nice across the wrists. I hope it does for you as well. And then gently releasing it. You can bend at the elbow and move your thumb back towards your body. Oh, lovely. You can shake out your hands. I'll come back to center. Great. From here, we're not done with the fingers. We're giving our hands a lot of attention today. You're simply going to bring your hands to either side of your shoulders and sitting up tall, you're going to start to flick. Just bringing some motion, some release into your hands. We tend to keep a lot of tension in our hands and our arms. So this is your moment to let them relax. Just flick as if you've got water or something really, maybe mud on your hands and you're just trying to flick it off with your fingers. Keep your wrists really loose. Relax your shoulders. And then shake it out. Bring it back to center. So from here, we're going to go back into that good alignment. And so you're going to come seated to the front of your chair. You're going to make sure that your ankles are stacked underneath your knees, your toes are pointing forward, and your weight is evenly resting between both sitting bones. Let's bring some motion into our lower body now. So you're going to grip either behind the right thigh, or you're going to grip just underneath that right kneecap. Either place is fine, just please never put any pressure on your knee. So choose where you want to be. And now you're going to tone your stomach muscles just a little bit. This will allow you to sit up straight. And as you grip that right knee, you're going to want to sort of tilt towards the right-hand side. Resist that temptation. So keep the tone in your belly and shift your weight back into that left hip so that you're sitting up tall and evenly. Now from here, you're going to inhale, sitting up tall. Exhale, start to guide your knee back towards your chest. So bring your leg towards you. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, maybe squeeze just a little bit more towards you. Inhale once more. Exhale, knee to chest. From here, you can drop it down a little bit And you can start to do little circles with your ankles in one direction and moving them back the other way. From here, you can start to move your ankle in one direction, doing little circles, and move in the opposite direction, coming back to center. So keeping with that theme of circling, you're going to start to really let the weight of your leg hang in your hands. So now your biceps are doing most of the work. Your leg is just a kind of solid weight in your hands. From here, you're going to allow your hands to start to guide your knees into little circles. So start with small circles in any direction, and if it's suitable for you, you can start to go wider. As with the shoulders, I know that when I start to go wider, I start to feel all the crunchy little bits in that ball and socket joint. Can feel a bit weird. And then switch directions. You can start small in the opposite direction and start to get bigger and bigger. Great. Now coming back to center, let's set that foot down. Shake our hands out a little bit. Move it to the left side. So making sure we're sitting up tall. Grip wherever it's appropriate for you. And you're going to start to sit up tall. Inhale. Exhale, bring your knee back towards your chest. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, that knee a little bit closer to you. One more time. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, that knee, hug it into your chest if you can. And from here, you can let it go slightly and start into those ankle circles, let's call them, in one direction and moving into the other way. Coming back to stillness. From here, we're going to really allow the weight of that leg to drop into our hands. So our biceps are doing all the work now. Start to make those gentle circles. You can look down lovingly at your knee as you do this. Maybe get a little bit wider. Just feel that lubrication that's coming into your ball and socket joint. It can be a real treat. If there's any pain at any point, please back off. Make the movement smaller, switch directions. And one more circle this way. And set it back down. So taking a moment to center ourselves. We're going to move into some seated leg raises. Leg raises. So from here, you're going to bring your weight into your right foot. You're going to start by lifting the balls of your feet and your toes off the ground. So your foot is flexed from here. Now start to slide your heel across the floor in front of you. Foot is still flexed. You're going to raise that leg to about hip height. And now you're going to point the foot. Then you're going to bend at the knee, set the foot back down. All the while keeping a tone in your belly so that you're sitting up straight. It's a bit of a balancing challenge, but I know we're up to it. So let's try that. Lift, slide, lift, point, bend, back down. 2 more times. Up, slide, lift, point, bend, down. You got it. 1 more time. Lift, slide, keeping that foot flexed, raise up, bend at the knee, set it back down. Let's shift it to the other leg. So lifting the ball of the foot and the toes up, keeping that foot flexed in that left leg, slide the heel across, lift, point the toe, get a stretch across the front of the leg, bend the knee, set it back down. 2 more times. Lift, slide, up, point, bend, down. Once more. Slide, point. You got it. Excellent. So coming back into that neutral position, just making sure that, once again, your weight is evenly distributed. We're going to start to bring a really lovely stretch into the inner thighs. So to do this, you're going to start to heel toe or kind of shuffle your feet as wide as you can. You might need to lift yourself up slightly. Great. Just make sure while you're here that your ankles are still stacked under your knees, and your knees and your toes are moving in the same direction. So once you have that, you are going to bring your hands onto your thighs. Inhale, sitting up straight. Exhale, start to hinge forward from your hips. So you're trying to move in a straight line, and your entire back from your sacrum to the crown of your head is one long straight line. You're keeping a little bit of tone in the belly. As you inhale, grow long, and exhale, pitch forward. As you do this, see if you can encourage your thighs to move away from one another. And just stay here at your limit and breathe. Remember, relax your shoulders away from your ears. They have a tendency to creep up during this pose. Make sure you're breathing. And if you need to, you can walk even wider, keeping the pressure on that inner thigh to really feel a stretch. Staying here for one more breath. And then slowly come back up to center. Gently heel toe your feet back into that neutral position. For our final pose, we're going to move into a downward dog. This is the only pose in the sequence that requires you to get up from the chair. If you're in a bed, you can do a variation, which I'm going to show you right now. And if you are unable to get up or to extend your feet in front of you, you can simply stay in this position and focus on your breath and focus on extending your spine as tall as you can. It's the same principle. So for those of us practicing from a bed, or for those of us who aren't able to get up off the chair, come to the front of the chair and start to walk your feet forward. So you're really extending your legs out as far as you can. From here, you're going to grip either side of the chair, and you're going to start to, like you did in the last pose, just pitch yourself forward, but keep a really long, straight spine. So this is a really lovely stretch along the fronts of the legs, and especially here across the ankles. And at the same time, you're also getting a really lovely reach through the entire spine. Just stay here and breathe. Now, for those of us who are able to follow me off the chair, I'm going to demonstrate downward dog. So I'm doing a side version. You can face the chair. So coming up off the chair, you're going to face the seat and bring the palms of your hands onto the seat of the chair. Now, you're going to bend your knees and start to walk your feet back away from the chair, but still keeping some weight in your hands. Now, when you feel like you've walked out enough, a few steps behind you, start to shift the weight of your hips back so that your hips are basically above your legs. So you should start to feel a really lovely stretch through the back of the body as you go into this inverted V shape. Now, the last piece over here is that you really extend your arms straight and you start to extend the crown of your head towards the chair, But please remember, you're never dropping your head between your hands. You're keeping the integrity of that spine, keeping the ears above your arm height. Just stay here in this stretch, breathing. You might feel like rocking back and forth, shifting the weight from your hands to your feet, and moving from the outer edge of your foot to the inner edge of your foot, just to test the limits of that stretch. This is a complete stretch for the back of the body. And when you feel like you've had enough, you're going to start to bend your knees and bend your elbows a little bit. You're going to walk your feet back towards the chair. And then shifting back into that seated position. Gently coming back. Coming to sit at the front of our chair. Take your time here. Sometimes when we drop our heads a little bit lower, there can be a bit of a rush, a head rush. That's totally normal, that's fine. Take your time. So we made it this far to the end of the yoga class. We're just going to close the practice by bringing our hands to our heart center. Just relaxing our shoulders down our backs, our arms relaxed, our hands at our heart center, going inward, and noticing that we've spent this session working with the unique abilities of our individual bodies. And I wonder, can we take this acceptance with us through the rest of our day? Bow your chin into your chest. Thank yourself for all your amazing hard work today. And thank you for practicing with me.